Hello everyone. Uh, I'm here to share my SBI PO interview experience with you guys, and I have never made a YouTube video before, so I'm apologizing for whatever mistakes will be there in the video. So let us begin. So document verification was very smooth, and panel members were also very cooperative, and they also helped me wherever I got stuck. So let me come directly to the questions now. There were three male members and one female member. So when I entered and I greeted them all and they asked me to sit and they said that you have a good name. I think that was just to make me comfortable. So after that they started asking me questions. So the first question I was asked is introduce yourself. I introduced, and the follow-up question was that why I left my previous job and why do I want to come to banking sector now, which I told. Next question was from my hobby, that you said you've read a lot of classics. You in your hobby you've written that you like reading classics. So what all classics have you read? So I told him names of 5 to 6 books. So he was satisfied with that. After that, he asked me which forms I have filled till now and what is the status of those forms. So I told him that all the banking forms I have filled, and in our RBPO I'm in reserve list, and the clerical exam I did not clear. So he again asked, SBIJ you couldn't clear? So I said no, which was the truth. So I told him. So after that, he asked me what is NPA. The follow-up question was sub-classification of substandard assets. I did not know, so I told him I do not know. Then he asked me what is provisioning. I told him. He asked me what is gross and net NPA. I told him. Then he asked me what is the current rate of provisioning. So I said 40%, but I thought it is 40%, which it is not. So he said that no, it's not 40%. So I said that okay, sir, I thought that it's 40% only, but I'll definitely read it when I go back. So he said okay. Then he asked me what are Basel norms. I started telling him from the very basic. So he said no, no, tell me about Basel 3 only, do not tell me about Basel 1. So I started telling him about Basel 3. So before the I was telling him about risk weighted assets and capital adequacy ratio. I was telling him how capital adequacy ratio is calculated. So he said, okay, what prompted Basel 3? So I told him that the global financial crisis of 2008. So he asked me, do you know something about that crisis? So I knew a little bit. I did not know in detail. So I told him that, yes, sir, I know. So I started telling him and I told him whatever I know, two, three lines only I told. So he was satisfied with that. Then he asked me the salient features of budget. Now the funny thing here is that I had read.
Hello aspirants, this is Sabia here and I hope this interview experience will benefit you a lot. So this is a very important and very short information for all of you that 80% ऑफ जो मैंने आपको पहले एक्सप्लेन किया था वो ऑफ़र बस अब ख़त्म होने वाला है. तो जो भी स्टूडेंट्स इस ऑफ़र को अवेल करना चाहते हैं ये बिल्कुल राइट टाइम है, अवेल कर लीजिएगा. पूरे के पूरे PDF कोर्स मतलब एक पूरा डे 1 से डे 50 तक का जो कोर्स होता है, सारे एग्ज़ाम्स प्री मेंस एंड सारे IBPS के और SBI के सारे एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए पूरी की पूरी प्रिपरेशन से रिलेटेड कोर्सेज एंड प्लस पूरी ईयरली मॉक टेस्ट सारे एग्जाम्स के प्री और मेंस के लिए सब कुछ आपको एक कॉम्बो पैकेज में 80% ऑफ पे मिल जाएगा, बहुत ही अफोर्डेबल प्राइस में. एंड इफ़ यू यूज़ द कूपन कोड GS12 यू शैल गेट एक्स्ट्रा 12% ऑफ.
That I had read budget so many times, but over there, no points were coming to my mind. So somehow I recalled two, 3 points, and I told him. And I told him about health, about education, and at last I told him about the tax levied on cryptocurrency, and nothing else was coming to my mind. The physical deficit, the GDP, nothing, nothing. So next he asked me, okay, what are the current forex reserves of India? And I told him the exact figure, and he was happy with this answer. After that, he asked me what are the recent monetary policy meeting highlights. I told him that also, and he was satisfied. Then he asked me what is the repo rate. He was satisfied. After that, he asked me, okay, after this, he passed it to the next panel member. Next panel member asked me what is budget. He asked me what was the quarter 3 SBI profit. What Then he asked me what do we see when we first visit an SBI branch, and I told him that the large crowd of people and the banking staff is busy doing their work and at the same time handling the crowd as well. So they said, okay, how do you think the crowd at the bank branches can be reduced? So I told him that I think we're going in the right direction and digitization is the answer. So he was satisfied. Now I think that I have made a mistake in this question. when he asked me what we see in an SBI branch, I should have told him about the banking business, but the first thing which came to my mind was that there's a rush of people over there. So that only came out at that point of time. So I think here I've made a mistake. But then when he asked me how can crowd be reduced, I tried to compensate for the mistake. So let us see. After that, he asked me what is KYC. I told him. Then he asked me what are the qualities of a bank officer. Again, I told him. And then he asked me if I know any other channel apart from Yono. So I said that sorry, sir, I'm not aware. Then he passed on to the third panel member. He asked me my strengths and weaknesses. And then he asked me how digitization will benefit customers and bank staff. And I told him that. After that, he so much followed from the crowd question. So you can see that they wanted to know if I know the benefits of digitization or not. And you know, okay, then he asked, then okay, then he passed on to ma'am. Ma'am asked me that how do you see yourself as a leader or a team player? And I answered, and she looked quite satisfied with my answer. After that, again, Chairman Sir asked me that in weaknesses, you said that you're not health conscious. Then how will you give your best in bank? You'll be living alone, you'll be coming home, you'll be cooking on your own. So how will you manage? So I told him that I'm working on it and I have created a diet plan and everything else. After that, he asked me that being a girl, how will you manage an all India posting? You can get a posting anywhere throughout the territory of India. So I told him that my parents are quite supportive and it won't be a problem. So after this, they said, okay, you can go. I stood up and I thanked all the panel members. And after that, before I could leave, the second panel member, he stopped me and he asked me again that, tell me your result status again. And I said, sir, I couldn't clear the clerical prelims and I'm in our RBPO waitlist. I don't know what, but our RBPO waitlist part, some expression came on his face and he shared that expression with ma'am also. He communicated something I could not decipher because through the eyes they were communicating, but there was something in this answer. It was an important question for him, I think. I do not know if it will have a negative impact that I am in our RBPO reserve list or a positive impact, but I tried to be honest about it because that is what the truth is. I am in the reserve list. So that's what I tried to be honest throughout my interview. And a few mistakes I made, like that crowd part. Let us see what happens. And when I came out of the interview room, I felt that apart from the 2 3 mistakes which I did, overall my interview has gone well. That crowd part I think is a big mistake, but I tried to make it sound like I was actually what I was thinking at that time. I wanted to say that there's a lot of crowd in the bank, and the banking staff handles very well. They manage, they do public dealing also at the same time, and at the same time they do their work also very quickly and carefully. This is what I wanted to say, but it did not come out in the right words, I think, in the right manner. I do not know how they took it and how they processed my answer. So let us see if marks will also come with the results. So if I get good marks in the interview, I will make a detailed video about what answers I gave and what I tried, how I tried to make my answers a little unique, because I did try that there. And if the marks are not good, then I'll tell you what other mistakes apart from this crowd part I have done in my interview. So till then, take care, all the best. Thank you.